Hello. Let me at the outset thank the KLF team and Professor K. Sachidanandan especially for thinking of me in connection with this festival. Today I am going to read two of my poems. The first poem is titled Lynching a Poem. Lynching a Poem. Bloody know this much if you are serious about the business. You don't send lookout circulars, LOC for short, to readers, pedagogues, or publishers, nor do you stick missing flyers in newsprint, paywalls, or periodicals to track a poem that has gone out of hand a bit too far beyond the oblong of glossy white or matte beige pinned under your iron fist. Lie in an ambush instead and wait in back lanes, pavements, or local train. He will crawl out, the rat face, from history's hellhole on silent, sneaky back steps. That's how his sort move, right to left. Haiku frail, his form dark on average, mien a crooked line, a sea snake, and visage a lowly turn of phrase. You can identify him simply by dress. That scarecrow kurta, bare baggy pants, so cunningly tailor made, could carry contexts wholly unintended and meanings that sully the sacred. That wired skull cap, beware, is there to receive foreign aid of allusions, concepts, and suspended syntax. So don't wait for a more, just go, 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 crouch up close and pounce with all the four, grab him by neck, drag the reeking fag to the curbside or the closest pole. First frisk, be vigilant, it's not without risk. Molly metaphors may tumble off his pockets. Mean puns could crawl off his sleeve folds. And check that hem for priceless gems, soon to last him a lifetime of torment. You can grope his jags too in the bargain, but never look him in eyes, the inky ripples, as images of milk, medicines, and living dreams are known to melt. Pound, pummel, rant, make him chant your pet refrain, the war cry, the victory song. He will keep mum, the low down scum. His silence is an omen of storm, or else will stammer to shed sparks, striking his dark words like flint stones. The biggest taboo to observe, however, is his heart beating secular rhythms, and his soul the mirror of civilization. Instead, read the Morse code in drops and dash of his blood, and use that knee, your life support, to pin his neck against the floor. I can't breathe, he will beg. He will chime it 16 times, the globe-trotting magic mantra. Pay no heed, just keep the count. Dot on 929, it will end, the holy Satra. The second poem that I'm going to read is titled Mushroom Cloud. Mushroom Cloud. I woke up with a start. The room was a sea of smoke. Who the hell would have had the itch to burn trash at midnight like this? A blue wisp curled out of my mouth. Might be emitting from piranha, you dunce. Smoldering thoughts got a welcome relief. communal tiff towards Millatnagar from a stray mischief? Didn't I take a shortcut from there last night, about 10 past 10? But there was nothing then. No telling when a flash turns to fire these days. Snap a finger and hungry holy blazes away. The Sabarmati burst out on my skin. But no, wait, could be a gas leak or a short circuit in the shacks. Bloody, they are awful. Public nuisance, heck. Can't hear any uproar though. Forest fires? What's its name? Conflagration. Have they even heard of climate change? Those men. Fuming, clenching jaws, I came out. A clear sky on the wings of chilling breeze landed on the balcony like December dawn. Back inside in a huff, I muttered, must get to the root of this messy banyan, this billowing unholy river, this great aerial flood of smoke. Just then, clutching the little finger of ice, the invisible propeller of smoke, speeding like a crazy firework rocket, but in reverse motion, dodging attention, engulfing anaconda fashion, its undulating spiral of slipstream zoomed in and sank deep in my chest, panting like bellows. The walls in the room burst out in green and tender cello. Thank you.